y'all, it's Sharon with Southern Bella Home. My sweet honey Todd over here. It's been a while since we've been on YouTube, and there's a reason for that. A very good reason. For those of you who don't know, if you don't follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you may not realize that we survived an F3 tornado on our homestead Easter night. It was pretty devastating, right, babe?
Yes, ma'am.
Our homestead was changed forever. We sustained major property damage. If you don't know, we bought an old homestead. Our farmhouse was built in 1900. It was moved to its current location in 1926, I think it was. And it was a full-fledged homestead at that point. They built a pond, and they had cows and gardens and chickens and all the things. And so since 2016, we've been working on this place. We've been restoring the house, and we've been restoring the grounds, and we've been starting up a homestead. We've built a raised bed garden, planted an orchard, started with chickens, and we have just started our meat birds and ducks. We have stocked our pond and gotten our bees. But on Easter night, I'll start by saying that all day long on Easter, as you know, quarantine, so we had church at home. But after we had our church, what did we do, babe?
Started putting things from the greenhouse into the shop and preparing for a possible storm.
I heard on our local weather channel that there was a possibility for very severe weather. I've never before in my lifetime heard a weather forecaster say that you need to keep someone awake all night. You need to have helmets by your bed and shoes by your bed. I mean, their warnings were very ominous and serious. So I had hundreds of seedlings in the greenhouse. We moved all of those into Todd's shop. We battened down the hatches as much as we possibly could, and I volunteered to stay awake because it was a Sunday, and I knew that if this whole thing blew over, Todd would have to work the next day. So I knew if he had to go work, I could take a nap the next day. He couldn't. So I volunteered to stay awake, and by 2 o'clock in the morning, things were ramping up. We woke up our boys. The night before, what we did was we told them to pack a backpack of all the things that were precious to them with a change of clothes, put that in a pair of shoes by the bed, and we had them to sleep in their clothes. That's how serious it was. And I slept in my clothes, and we had everything ready. And we drew up water in case the power went out, so we were on a well, and we knew that we wouldn't have water if the power went out. So at around 2:10, we were listening to the weather report, and it was getting really bad. We could hear the commotion starting outside. I got our 2 teenage boys into the hallway with all our things. Todd stayed in front of the TV to hear what the weatherman was saying. And you want to tell from then what you heard the weatherman say, babe?
Right. The storm was coming over a wildlife management area, and he said, well, it's not quite a tornado yet. He said, hold on, the screen's refreshing. And then he says, that's not what we want to see. Take shelter immediately. And the TV cut off.
As soon as the weatherman said, take shelter immediately, our power went out. And as soon as the power went out, the tornado hit us. It was the worst sound. I've lived through a tornado before, and so has Todd. I've had a direct hit on my previous home before I met Todd, and he had one very close to his home as well. And so we knew what that sound was like, but neither one of us lived in a 120-year-old farmhouse before, and I don't think we both lived through an F3 right directly on top of us. It was really bad, really bad. And so we feel extremely blessed. We have damage to our roof, damage to our siding. A limb went through the windshield of our car, dented our trailer. My greenhouse was completely blown apart, gone. It was in a wad on the driveway, and we'll show you the pictures of that. But all of our old growth trees were gone, just wiped clean. We couldn't even see our driveway. The next day, it took us 10 hours just to clear the driveway. And our driveway is not that long. It was just that we had massive tree loss and devastation. But directly across the street from us, their home was almost leveled. Their barn, they still haven't found their barn. And it was a nice barn that was anchored in concrete, gone. Our neighbors who we bought our house from, their home was extremely damaged, and they sustained real expensive property damage. So we feel blessed that our home was secure, but this event set us back on our homestead. We had COVID, then we had this, and so the garden has been late. You know, we were trying to raise meat birds and have new hens, and it was just, I tell you, it's just been rough. So now we're going to show you some footage. Last night was a rough night. We lived through a tornado. God protected us. We sat in the hallway with arms locked, praying and crying out to God. And I'm just now about to go outside for the first time. The guys, they all went outside with flashlights in the rain while it was still howling a little bit last night, because some of our neighbors lost part of their house, trees on their house. But I'm just going to take y'all with me and show y'all the damage. Out our kitchen door, and this is our courtyard. Yeah, something really strange. Look at this glass top from this table. It came off this table. This tree landed on it, and it's not broken. There's a huge tree down there. Power lines are down. We had a massive, probably 100-year-old cedar. Half of that's broken. Part of the house is broken there. Power lines laying across all back there. Down. Storm just ripped it in half. There's my greenhouse. Car up there, and our car back there. Oh my goodness. Oh. The top of that tree is just gone. My goodness. Oh my word. It will take us a month just to cut the trees down. Oh my goodness. Devastation. Devastation. All of our beautiful, big, giant trees are gone. Minutes when the tornado came through. Look at this tree. Look at this tree. Look at that root ball. Look at that. Wow. If you've never been through a tornado, it's really overwhelming to step outside and see the devastation. Just chaos like a war zone. It's hard to describe the emotions that you feel, when you see the power that swept through your property, and you're sad, but at the same time you're very thankful that you and your family survived. It's just a strange, strange mix of emotions, grief and gratitude all intermingled. You are wishing for what was before and hoping for what you can do in the days ahead. Chimney broken, trees down, greenhouse gone, but we are here. In times like these, you find out what it means to have loving people who rally around you, who love on you by coming out and working hard side by side with you to restore what semblance of normalcy they can. We were so blessed to have family and friends who came to our aid, who brought food and who brought tractors and worked hard day in and day out for a solid week. We had men show up that we didn't even know, and they just came because they were showing God's love to us. And we will never forget that feeling of just being so hopeless and so helpless, and having wonderful people step in to help. And without that help, we just don't know where we would be right now. What a blessing. And it has made us realize how important it is for us to turn around and do the same thing when other people are in need. And we so desire to do that. And we plan on doing that. In the future, you will see Todd and Sharon out returning that favor and showing God's love to others who are in need.
I was getting some stuff for the guys, and one of them asked me for a Red Bull.
This was such a great opportunity for our boys to see true love and sacrifice in action. Our family members and our friends that showed up day after day to help us when they didn't have to. They weren't asked to. They just came and they helped, and they took away our sense of hopelessness and gave us a sense of encouragement and helped us to know that we could recover. Even though our house was damaged and our greenhouse was gone, we feel blessed because we were spared. We still have a home and we're still safe. We weren't hurt. So you count your blessings.